Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel Charles Morse. And in this video I want to be talking about the possible ban of TikTok, which the Senate is expected to vote on a ban of TikTok on March 13th. And what this means is that once TikTok actually is voted, once there is a vote out there that will actually ban TikTok for good, then what will happen is TikTok itself will actually be banned, will be taken off the Google Play Store, and that is where people are going to have a huge problem with it. And if you own a Apple phone, then it'll be taken off the App Store. And I want to say that the U.S. is actually pretty suspicious of China. So I could just think this is probably one reason why the Senate would be voting to actually ban TikTok. And I don't even really care, because if the ban of TikTok actually does happen, then I could delete the app for good, and then I could actually just save myself some storage. Unless I were to actually get another game off the Google Play Store. I mean, mostly what I use TikTok for is just gameplay footage and that stuff. But for other people, for other users, they mostly like to use TikTok for inappropriate reasons, which I'm not going to be getting into a discussion of, because it would be inappropriate of me to actually do so, and I don't want to gross people out. But yeah, I'm sure most of you have already experienced what some users do on TikTok. And like I said, it can be for inappropriate reasons and inappropriate purposes. And it can be very, very disturbing to actually see this from certain users off of TikTok. But let's also talk about what TikTok really does. TikTok actually collects users' data and that stuff. And they also have a community guideline that you have to follow and that stuff. Like, if you were to do something to violate those community guidelines and that stuff, you would actually get one of your videos pinned, and then TikTok would, TikTok itself would actually, take that video down that's been pinned, and then, you know, that could give you a strike on your account. And, you know, if they have to, if you get like a lot of pins and strikes on your account, TikTok will, what they will do is they will ban that account that you have, and then what you have to do is you would have to create a new account, which is a headache to do. So the frustration of the TikTok ban isn't really a big deal to me. I mean, I've got other apps that I could use to actually just use for uploading my replay videos and gameplay footage and that stuff. I mean, I don't need TikTok for just that. I mean, I love to share my gameplay and replay footage with the rest of the world. But if the Senate is voting to actually have a ban on TikTok on March 13th, and that vote actually ends up being a more of a yes than a no on the ban of TikTok, then it means it'd be taken off the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Which means you have data that you could get back from permanently deleting TikTok, and it would be, then you would have extra storage. And when TikTok does actually end up getting banned here, there'll be, I could guarantee you almost that there'll be a lot of protests and that stuff. Maybe not guaranteed, but probably almost just, it's likely that there will be like protests on why people have been, or why the Senate banned TikTok. And like the U.S. is, like, the U.S. is very suspicious of China. So this could be a much bigger reason why the Senate would be wanting to possibly ban TikTok for good. So it's all, who knows? Who knows that TikTok is, like, literally going to get banned for good here? And we just have to see what happens. Just have to see what happens after March 13th. If TikTok is really going to be voted to be banned for good, or if there's going to be a no, don't ban TikTok from these senator politicians. It's yes or no, and if either one is higher, it will depend on whether TikTok gets shut down or not. So, it's not a problem to me, really. It could be a problem to other people. I don't really, the only thing I do on TikTok is share my replay footage and gameplay footage. And that's mostly what I do. That's mostly what I do. I mean, I don't have any other purposes of using TikTok. And the only thing I use TikTok for, mostly, is for gameplay footage and replays. So, I can understand why people be frustrated that TikTok would actually possibly get permanently banned by the U.S. Senate here in the United States. And I can understand people's frustration. This is, if TikTok does, if they do end up banning TikTok, I would be just completely fine with that, because then I'd have extra storage on my phone. I would be having extra storage to get more apps if I wanted to, or whatever it is I wanted to do with that storage. I'm quite fine if that ban doesn't end up coming to a yes vote more than a no. But yeah, there's gonna be possibly protests. And then nothing's going to really, after TikTok actually ends up getting banned, then there isn't really going to be any chance of getting that app back. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but this is actually just the reality of it. TikTok might end up getting banned, or it may not. Like I said, I don't even care if it does or does not. So, I know people are going to be frustrated on this TikTok possibly getting banned by the U.S. senators. They may try to make the excuse that, oh, this is China behind all of this and that stuff, and this is where this is the big reason why TikTok needs banned, because China is just trying to use this app to spy on us and that stuff. But you have to say, they could possibly be right. this probably may be what China is actually trying to do, and just spy on people through the use of TikTok. Like maybe they're the ones that are collecting everybody's users' data so that they can actually find out who everybody is. And you gotta remember, China is also there's a lot of communism in China, so this, for the ban of TikTok, for TikTok getting banned, this is probably just, the ban of TikTok just may be necessary to actually protect everybody's privacy. That stuff. Who knows? I mean, time only can tell that story. Time only is the one that's going to tell us exactly what will actually happen. And you have to understand that a lot of times the reason why people, like stuff that goes on in the U.S. Senate, like if they're banning certain rights or certain apps or whatever, most of the time it happens for, some very good reasons. Now, maybe that's not all the time, but most of the time, sometimes. I think what is really happening here is we are actually going to experience a lot of change here in the future as we actually go through the rest of 2024 and beyond that. I mean, you have these apps that are going to be possibly getting shut down by votes in the Senate. Whoever agrees to actually just call for a ban on these apps and it is a pain to see these apps actually get forced to shut down off the Google Play Store. And speaking of shutdowns, you also have Nintendo going after all these other emulators and that stuff. Usually was the first shut down, and now you have the GBA emulators on the Game Boy Color emulators that are shutting down. And some of these creators just choose to shut down these emulators that they've made just because, well, this may all connect to Yuzu emulator, that we're probably going to see a lot of shutdowns of apps and stuff in the future and that stuff. And TikTok is probably going to be one of those apps that gets shut down. And then there'll probably be a bunch more that actually have to get shut down. And as sad as to say this, but this may be what TikTok fans, TikTok users, for those that love using that app, your time of using that app might finally come to an end. I'm sorry to say that, but this is just probably what will happen when the Senate actually does end up voting for a yes ban TikTok, more than senators and politicians vote no. When there's a yes more than a no to ban TikTok, that app will have to go out of the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. And this is what would anger TikTok users. That would probably anger TikTok users. And there will probably be a protest to bring the TikTok app back, which may not even happen once it's shut down. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. So like was said here, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, Charles Morris. And, TikTok, I guess, may end up getting banned when this vote on March 13th by the Senate is voted more yes than no. And TikTok will have to just be gone from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store for good. And this is going to maybe anger a lot of TikTok users. Have a good day. I will see you all in the next video.